Okie dokie, even though it's got dubious electrics, I'm still going to be using the still. What I'm going to be doing, instead of doing a sugar wash or anything of that nature, I've got about 20 litres of spirits that I've put through made using the air still. And it is great, it is a nice drink, but the flavour difference using this and my copper minge is such a massive difference. It is a humongous difference. It's really good in the air still, but it's a massive difference in flavour. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the 15-20 litres that I've got, I'm going to dilute it in here with water, add a few juniper berries when I chuck it in, and hopefully it will work. I cannot see anything wrong with the electrics. All I can think is that when I got a kicking from customs, is that it may have damaged the thermostat. That's all I can think. Because I do have a fault tester that I was going to use, but fuck it, I'm going to have a go. So I got me glass balls and a few ceramic tiles to go in. I'm going to put it on my sight glass, and it's already a damp patch on the ground for some reason. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that the ginger minger I had was bigger than that. I'm pretty sure, I just can't find it. I'm normally quite good at keeping things, but that is going to be going down inside there with a bit of copper, just to give it a bit of resistance. Because the main thing is, the copper is a good thing because it absorbs the negative flavours like sulphur, but also whenever your vapour meets resistance, it condenses into a liquid and then goes back down. And every time it passes through itself, it gives a purity, it's pure. It gives it a better flavour. And it is a case of that the flavour is such a massive difference, it's worth going through all. If I was doing it just to make money, I'd just flog the stuff I've made. But I'm not making it to make money, I'm making it to drink. So I'd rather have 1 or 2 litres of really good than have 10 litres of average. So yeah, I've got, what I'm probably going to do is put in 10 litres of my homemade spirits, top it up with water. That'll give me about 20 to 23 litres in the container, which should theoretically bring it down to about 20-ish%. Hopefully. Now for the magic of YouTube to put it together. Got to bear in mind, every time it splashes, you're losing flavour, you're losing alcohol. But it does smell really nice. It's quite funny, really. In Germany, this bottle's worth about 300 quid. Because they don't have this kind of stuff anymore. If you have it over a certain alcohol strength, it can go bang. So that's why I dilute it with water. This one had I left a note in this one. Sugar beet. Ooh, you can really taste the sugar beet in that one. Nom, 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 nom. But it is still rough. Not weak in flavour, but it does have a bit of a rough. But a lot of that is the sugar beet. I must have made that one a year ago. That was one of the first ones I was making. Another reason why I'm doing this is because I wasn't as aware of the difference between methanol and ethanol when I first started making it. Now that I am more aware of the science behind things, like methanol is a bad alcohol. It has a slightly lower boiling temperature than ethanol, which is good alcohol. So therefore, that's why you take off the first bit. Sugar, it's not that much of an issue because there's not much methanol or what the hell is it called, that you get, is it peptides? In the sugars, as you do with things like grain and fruit, is the most you're going to get a hassle with ethanol. So it's not as big of an issue because I just made using sugar, but I figured I may as well redo it as I've got nothing else to do with my life. I mean, to make it a better drink. Let's have a look. And that is saying 42%. And of course you must clean this. That's clean. So 42%, I want to get it down to 20 really. So that's about 10 litres. So I need to put in another roughly 10 litres. And then I could try putting in another 5 and then top it up, but that's only going to give me, see, 5 litres in there now, that's going to bring it down to about 30%. I want it down to 20 odd. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, I mean, if we were desperate with my utility bills and stuff, I'd be more concerned about how much electric I'm going to be using, but honestly, I've got fuck all enough to spend money on. I don't have enough to buy an island, which is what I want to do. Actually, that's not right. I do have enough to buy an island, I just don't have enough to buy an island and a boat and infrastructure. So, it's pointless. So if you've got £500,000 you want to contribute to have a nice little island in the middle of nowhere, that should now be 20 to 30% alcohol. This thing was only a fiver, it's fucking brilliant. That is now reading 26. That's right. That's what I wanted it, 20-ish. So that's 26%. Those. Not too many, because what I actually end up doing is, just to give it a bit more body flavour, juniper wise, I just put 2 or 3 of those in a litre bottle. Now I've got hope that it actually works. Metal plate, this is where you can put your botanicals on top, but what I do, it just gives it another thing to resist against, to condense and drop back down. I could put some copper mesh on here if I had more copper, just to put more on top of it to vaporate through. The only issue I've got with that is that you've got something that can go bang with 2 metal things banging against each other. That could create a spark. So that's that. It may not work due to the electrical issues with it. I did get 20 quid back, I think it was about 20 quid, from the company who supplied it. I am pretty sure, and I did say in the review on AliExpress that I'm pretty sure it was customs kicking the crap out of it because it's from China to promote sales of American products. Which might sound, you know, it would never happen. This is the same people who've been putting asbestos in baby products, Israel. So yeah, they don't care who they kill, who they damage, what pain they cause. Why am I putting it on there when it goes on here? Because I've been drinking alcohol. So it wouldn't be an issue for them to damage something coming in from China to line your own pockets. I mean, let's face it, these are the same people that... Right. Avoid politics on this channel. Yeah. Motherfucker, stay. I'm just really hoping that it does actually work. Nothing else going there. It's a shame they can't get something to make that lid easier to take off, because by the time you clamp it down, it's so tight that it's a pain in the ass to get off. But that's the idea. Right, actually I'm going to plug it in now, just to see if it is going to work. Just to check. Because it's going to take a while for that to heat up, if it's working. I'm not going to put it on full blast straight away. Nope, anything, nothing. You have a light, okay. You have a light. And it's working. I do wonder if the reason it wasn't working before is because there was nothing in there. Well, that shouldn't affect the thermostat. Alright, that's on the go. The brain is a bit fried at the moment. So all I've done with the copper pipe is, that's a bit of the copper mesh inside there. I'm just going to shove it inside the ginger binger and plug it down the hole. Woohoo! I'm pretty sure I've got a bigger piece of this copper mesh somewhere. I have just got no idea where it is. But I want to keep it. Actually, that is not going in. If it does start rattling around, it could create a spark. Where the hell did that other piece go? Anyway, that can go in there. I'm just fluffing it up. It's mainly just to give it a bit of resistance for the alcohol going through. Once that's worn up, I'm going to have one last look round, see if I can find the rest of that copper binge. It's sod law that I'm not going to find the old copper, so I'm pretty sure I've got a bigger piece than that until I put this on and get it working. Then I'll probably find it. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure I got a bigger piece than that somewhere. I've got no idea where it's gone. So now I'm just going to put this on. It does heat up pretty quick. So, rubber seal first. This one measures, on the books, it's a 1.5 inch measurement, but they measure it in a weird way. They measure it across at an angle, which makes it bloody confusing if you're not experienced in these things. Of course, if I put my glasses on, you can see what I'm bloody doing. What I thought, glasses. Yeah, I've definitely got a bigger piece somewhere because that was full. I don't over tighten it, I just tighten it to hold it in place. I don't want to tighten it too much and run the risk of it breaking. It shouldn't do, it's bloody stainless steel. And these things are all these plastic bits, they're food grade. Still got water in it. The thermostat is a very handy thing, but the glue melts when it heats up, so it falls off. That's why I got a bit of cable tie to hold it on, well, a bit of wire to hold it on. Over the rainbow, arcade entrance. Press it in the rubber. Screw, screw, screw. It's been a long time, leave me alone. Way too long. Now I do still have bits of leaking on this. It's not a major issue. I'm still pretty sure it's from where I got a kick in from customers. Pretty sure about that. That's right. Cleaning wise, I just give it a quick rinse out with some water and a sponge. I'm not using barrel wash or anything. Condensation starting to come up. There's no barrel wash or any. That is on full temperature as well on the thermostat. I think it's like 120 Celsius. When that water heats up in the bathtub, which is about a quarter to a third floor, I'm going to use that water to clean out the old barrel because that stinks. So I did ale, you know. So that's done up, that's done up. The rubber seal's in, that's attached. That's attached. No, 17 degrees, which is room temperature. The house is about 17 Celsius, that's normal temperature for yeah, now it's just a case of waiting for it to heat up. And get the bottle sorted out. So what I'm going to do, initially, I'm going to be using that one for the heads. The 4 shots, quite what you want. And then it's going to go straight in to the same demijohns it came out of. My preferred strength when I'm making this is 35% alcohol. That's just what I like to drink. That way I don't have to bother diluting it or messing about. It's my choice. Anyway, so it puts things on. What have you got, a dogfish now? Well, you haven't got a dog? Because it was cheap, pretty shiny, and I don't give a shit. It's me cereal. Well, that's fucking useless. It's just so I can take off the first little bit. That's all it is. And we've already got bugs starting to be attracted. So, keep the bugs out. When I get it for the demijohn, that's going to go in a demijohn, that's going to go on top, pipe's going to go in there, and that way it'll just keep the bugs out and recharge my sucky bug bags. Looky. Okay, the alcohol fumes in here are fucking horrendous. It picked up really quick, so I got that much, 4 shots, which I am not going to dump because it smells way too nice and the fumes are fucking horrendous. But I've now got the pump switched on, so that will actually help it a little bit. It's not on that high temperature. I need my magnifying glass. So that's only reading 19 Celsius. So that thermostat is not connected properly. It's not working. So for some reason that thermostat is Kaputski. Because that is not working. Hang on. Right, it's now saying 78 Celsius. I think I could have misread it, the 741. but that is now reading 79 Celsius, which is vaporation temperature for alcohol. So I've got it set for the right temperature, it's working perfectly. It's just that fucking that strong. Yeah, it really, really does stink in here. And it smells lovely. So I fully, dizzy now. I fully expect to lose a fair bit of alcohol doing this, but I should get a much better drink out of it. That's the idea. A little taste test. Yeah, that's better. Before, this pipe was roasting hot because I got distracted by doing a bit of food. So that smells fucking awesome. The smell is so different compared to how it was before. I've got my little dropper thing. Because it does come out a lot stronger than using the air. The air still, the most ever comes out with the air still is, I don't know, 60% really. Which is pretty strong enough. It's just, and this is coming out at, it's not telling me it's too high. I think it says 70. It's coming out at about 70% alcohol. And that's just the beginning. So I need to dilute that by about half a gallon of water so I can drink it. Quite nice. A little bit stronger. Yeah, the issue I got with this filter is that because the bottom of it is solid metal, not mesh, it's not actually going all the way through. It's too good a fit, unfortunately. There, at an angle, that'll do the job. Oh. Get a much fuller flavour. The fuller flavour is coming from the vaporization going through something. It goes up, condenses, drops back down, and every time it passes through, it gets cleaner. The off flavour is like the sulphuric stuff, which you don't notice. If you've only ever drunk spirits from an air still, it'll taste brilliant until you taste it made from a still like this with your up pipe and whatever it's called. Let me turn that off. But that is set the right temperature now. That's just right. It's coming out good rate. Tastes nice. It's a massive difference in the flavour. Yeah, that I'll hang on to, forget what it is, and then probably throw it away. But that one I'm going to hang on to, theoretically, because that's really hot, hang on to that one and add it to the next one I do. Because it's too much to waste. And I've been drinking this stuff as it is, so there's not that much methanol going to be coming off. So hopefully, I'm going to set my alarm because I get too distracted by stuff. So many things on the go at the moment. So that can just keep going, and I'll check in a bit. My phone, because it's an American phone, just tried to log me on to the Google Play Store. I don't use the Google Play Store for anything. Yeah, so it basically stopped recording to try and upload my details to Israel. I mean America. Fucking piece of shit phone. Anyway, as I was trying to say, it's only a little bit of ginger minger in there, but it is doing a job. It's condensing the vapour, so it drops back down and goes up again. It's a really nice smell in the air. A lot of alcohol fumes in the air. Yeah, that's doing quite a nice job. When it comes to doing stuff like this, a lot of it is subjective when it comes to the strength. You're doing it to your own personal taste, unless you're doing it as a business. It's my own personal taste. Now, I tasted that and that's quite strong. I measured it with the alchemeter and it's saying 55% alcohol. I thought it tastes stronger than that. I then tested it with the old, what do you call it thing? The blobby ball thing, and it's saying 65%. So I'll split the difference and we'll say it's about 60%, which means I'm going to have to fill that with water and it may still be too strong. This is where it gets to be a pain, is having to swap between bottles to get the alcohol strength that you actually want to drink. But yeah, I should end up with a couple of gallons, basically. I put 2 gallons of alcohol in. I should get pretty much the same out, or not much difference. Okie dokie, I've got 5 litres in one container of good alcohol at 35 to 40% alcohol, which is what I want. I think like 36, 37%. That is roughly 2.5 litres. It's about 2 litres there of 35% alcohol. It is just the right strength. So what I might do is put that in glass bottles if I can find some. But it's now dropped down to 25% coming out. I'm not stopping. I'm going to keep going until I get all the alcohol, simply because it smells bloody lovely. Even though I have had quite a bit of samples whilst I've been making it. The flavour, I don't want to waste that flavour. It is such a good product coming out. This one of the batches I put in had sugar beet, another one had molasses, another one had a lot of juniper berries and other fruit and apple. There's a lot of different flavours in there and it is really, really nice. So I don't want to waste the flavour. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to keep running it in that container until I get all the alcohol out of it. And I'm just going to let it run. Then that can be mixed with the heads that came out. I'm not going to drink it, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it together, and then the next time I do a batch, I'll put it in. I'll just add to it. So I've got 1 or 2 demijohns I want to put through again. They taste brilliant, really nice, but I can make them better. That's doing a nice job. I need to either buy some more of this bloody copper ginger minge, or try and find the one I've lost. I'll find it eventually. I'm actually decided to go and buy some more, because it makes a big difference. Because when I cleaned out, I shook the bottle so I can't show you, but I've got a jam jar in the kitchen with vinegar in, and I used that to clean the copper mesh when it came out last time, and there is a substantial, a good 5 centimetres of sediment in the bottom of that bottle, that jam jar, and that is literally everything that got rinsed off by the vinegar from the copper minge. So that is all that got siphoned off when the vapours went through it. It's now in the bottom of that glass, in the bottom of the jam jar. So you can actually see that it does work. It does suck in all the negative flavours. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to do for this little video, in theory. Right, if you worried about your water temperature, because that water is getting warm enough to have a bath. I'm not going to, but it's warm enough. Now, I could put more cold water in, although I'm going to do some washing up in there in a bit. I could put some more cold water in, but key thing to look for is this pipe. Well, make sure your outflow pipe is not getting hot. It's a little bit warm on the bottom, so that's fine. the water flow is just right. If it starts to get hot, you need to increase your water flow, or your cold water flow. If it starts steaming, you know you need to really, really cool down that pipe. But because the pipe's not hot, that's fine. It's coming out as a liquid, not as a vapour. I mean, when I got distracted earlier, when I first had it going, I keep forgetting how fast and how efficiently this heats up. So I ended up with that bloody jam jar hot. So yeah, that is it. So in the end, I ended up with 5, 6, 7, call it 7 litres at 35%. I'm going to end up with at least another 2 litres at less than 30%. So I'm probably going to lose maybe half a litre in alcohol. But I'm guessing a vastly improved flavour, a vastly improved product. Can you call it a product when it's just for yourself and not for other people? Yeah, num num.